about time for another, wouldn't you say? When I was a kid, between like 9 and 11, something like that, me and my cousins and my brother, we'd be playing sports in the backyard all the freaking time. And this one specific time, we were playing football, and we start to hear something. And it's like this high-pitched squeaking. It's like somebody took an eraser, and we realize it's coming from my neighbor's yard. We run over to the fence, and we're looking over the fence, and we realize my neighbor's dog is tossing something around that's making all this noise. It's a squirrel. He's got a squirrel. He's caught it somehow. I don't know how you catch those little things. They're so fast. Naturally, we're like, how can we save this squirrel? Hey, dude, should we maybe go over the fence? I mean, as you probably would have guessed, this wouldn't be a story about me staying on the other side of the fence and watching a sibling go and save the day. I hop this fence and I start to approach my neighbor's dog, Wolfie. I kind of like, I'm like, oh, get away from that thing, dog. And the dog runs off. And what's left on the ground is the most adorable thing that you've ever seen in your life. It's a squirrel who's still breathing. Got these big blue eyes looking up, and it's not doing well. Like, this is like the squirrel has had plenty of better days in its life. I didn't know the squirrel personally, but it's probably had far better days than this current day, I'm guessing. So I pick the squirrel up, right? Which is like a stage in your life that you never really think you're going to be, or you're actually picking up a squirrel and it's happened. As a kid, you see these little fuzzy things walking around everywhere and they're super cute. Getting your hands on them, it never happens. And so here I am, not only holding a squirrel, but I'm saving the squirrel. I had it like this, and I look back over the fence to the guys. And I'm like, he's still alive. Except for I didn't get all those words out. I'm pretty sure I got to he. My eyes flashed back, he's. And the squirrel now is no longer laying dormant on my hands. It is in full angry position, tail up. It just bites down on my thumb. The he just, peeks up. And now I'm in a different situation I thought I'd never be in. So it went from being very happy, finally, I've got my hands on a squirrel, who doesn't want that? And all that has changed in pretty quickly, pretty freaking quickly. It changed from that to another thought. So I needed to think of something quick. The bed in which I've created for the squirrel I release, which doesn't help because now the squirrel is hanging full body from my thumb, and this squirrel the entire time, like it didn't stop gyrating. And so now what I thought would be the solution to drop the squirrel is failed. And I thought about life without opposable thumbs, and it was fun. The first thought that came through my head was like, I won't be able to throw things. I'm just going to have to continue life without a thumb. And kind of finishing this thought process, I'm like, well, let's check back on the squirrel. And the squirrel was still there. The squirrel was still hanging from my thumb after kind of reevaluating my life. I don't know what the heck to do. I'm about to lose my thumb. But voila. There was an encore for my thumb's life in the form of a large tree. I'm like, oh, there's a tree right next to me. I'll just hit the squirrel against the tree. I'm like crab walking to the tree. I swing my arm towards this tree. And I make contact. I know that I made contact with the squirrel to the tree. And I pull my thumb back up and I look, the squirrel was still attached to my thumb. But what I didn't expect was that the lower half of the squirrel was no longer attached to the upper half of the squirrel. And so like I said, its day was not very good, and then it just got worse. It was either my thumb or the squirrel. You have to understand this. After I think it realized, I don't have any legs anymore, I think it chilled for a second and kind of let go and dropped off. So I'm like running as if this squirrel's gonna like turn into a zombie. I still don't know much about squirrels other than their anatomy and stuff, if that's like a thing that they can do, if they can keep operating without a lower half. But I wasn't about to find out again, and so I just bolted back and I get over the fence to my posse. They look at me and they're, oh my God. And my cousin Jason, who's a great guy, dude, he's like looking into my eyes, like trying to find my eyes. And he's like, did it hurt? I remember even at the time just being appalled by that question. I was forced to kill a squirrel with my bare hands already. And on top of that, my thumb's bleeding. And I stared at him like it was such an offensive question. I'm like, of course it hurt. Oh, man. Oh, and so I hate squirrels. That's really the moral of the story. If you're ever like, oh, a squirrel, like, let's feed it, don't, all right? Because squirrels are really mean, and it could bite you, and you'll have to break it in half.